kidding, homie. I'm the type of guy that for the heathen, I'm the only one standing in this. You and I.S.U.P.K, 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 the home of the truth, nigga. I started out in one West, nigga. I.S.U.P.K, 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 the home of the truth, nigga. Started out in one West, nigga. I.S.U.P.K, 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 what? I.S.U.P.K, the home of the truth, nigga. Started out in one West, nigga. GEN.YAHANNA, rock the third. Yo, man. Yo, get back to that 1969 I.S.U.P.K shit, man. I wanna hear that 1969 I.S.U.P.K. We the children of God, SHALAM, and we only pray to Almighty Yahweh. They do the commandments like the son Yahweh shot. Don't think we soft, nigga. Yeah, you could die. We not Christians, we don't believe all of everybody. If it ain't about the 12 tribe of everybody, then that's a statement. You need to stop hating. You can't prove we Africans, so stop debating. I was stuck in a hard place, a hard time behind the rock. Thinking I was Muslim, shots in the I.S.U.P.K, big home pieces of the eye. Battling, Imam Bashir, my bad bullshit is a woman, that's the secret of the year. Your philosophies can't clap back. Africa, I mean you black. Tell Simon that, tell her like to cross the fuck out and pull the fuck back. You hear me, nigga? I'm with some real niggas that been Passover, nigga, drinking liquor. I.S.U.P.K.
These niggas love us, man. Fuck all that bullshit, man. You a real motherfucking nigga. Keep dropping that real shit, and niggas gonna get on with that shit. Niggas need to get their boot laced up. Niggas need their motherfucking pussy from that beard out. Niggas need that soul shit. You bringing that motherfucking shit, man. Keep letting them shit back. You understand? Because right now, we need real niggas, and you the last real nigga left. My nigga, that's y'all want. One West to their bird, y'all already know what it is. The rest of you bitch ass niggas. Fuck.
Smoke. Sipping thirsty. One West. You don't want no problem. 3, 2, 1.
They don't want no smoke. Fuck. Pull up to their show. What you tell? Fuck. Hit them with the phone. Fuck. They don't want no crowd. They don't want no smoke. Fuck. Pull up to their show. Fuck. Hit them with the phone. Fuck. They don't want no crowd. You know my motto is fucking, that's all I gotta say. Scope on the rifle that is fucking from a mile away. Still getting women drunk off Hennessy and Alizé. Still with the niggas loading hollow tips inside the cage. Still be on that same shit. Back on the change with multiplying bitches, man. I see me with the same bitch. But you might see me riding 95 North in the black Mitsubishi 195 horse. Follow with no flower, couple bottles there, of course. R.I.P. to all my fallen riders in the morgue. Yeah, you know I got the juice, know I got the sauce. And then super fly, full of fire in the porch. I don't need a molly just to pop her out of drawers. Shorty getting naked cause she know that I'm the ball. Ready for the drama, man, I'm ready for the war. If we talking reckless, he don't really love his jaw. Fuck him to the DA, fuck him to the law. Fuck him cause they got my brother stuck behind them bars. Fuck him to the PD, fuck him to the force. Fuck him to the haters, just what at the end of course. They don't want no smoke. Fuck. Pull up to their show, what you tell? Fuck. Hit them with the fuck. Fuck. They don't want no crowd. They don't want no smoke. Fuck, pull it to their show. Fuck, hit them with the phone. Fuck, they don't want no crowd. We got tons of guns, don't be toothless. Getting raw toppers in the whip like it's ruthless. Like my girl's chocolate with the chin, so she useless. Always been the nigga that's too big for the gooch. Long as I got enough from the squeeze in the coolie. Couple extra clips that it seems from step up in the club, ready smelling like a brewery. Then I mix the frank and sense, keep the aroma. You grew fresh to death, you in a coma. Shit, you just a player in the game, I'm the owner. Bitches call me, but you look at the phone up. Niggas talking childish shit, I'm a grown up. Move for a while, I'm sick, keep throwing up. Keep guns on every floor of my house. Yeah, you might make it in, but you ain't making it out. It's kinda you got a bullseye, take you to scout. It's like you walking through the jungle, but the lions is out. U.P.K. been the nigga, what you lying about? The generals that gave a word, punch you right in your mouth. Never ain't on no smoke. Fuck, pull up to their show, what you tell? Fuck, hit them with the phone. Fuck, they don't want no pride. They don't want no smoke. Fuck, pull up to their show, what you tell? Fuck, hit them with the phone. Fuck, they don't want no pride.
They don't want no crowd. Fuck. They don't want no crowd. Fuck. They don't want no crowd. They don't want
All right, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Brakathum to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Latan, Bashim, Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. Peace and Officer Taz over here. Holding it down for Officer Galawan out of the I.S.U.P.K in Trinidad and Tobago here, right? I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street out of New York under commanding GEN.YAHANNA. We teach that the so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child is the lost, biblical lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and supposed to be the rulers on the planet. All right, and our mission is really to gather back our people, you know what I mean, and to help them understand exactly what the hell going on and be prepared, you know what I mean, because we see the World War III coming up. If only the Lord getting ready to deliver his people, you know what I mean? So what it is you're going to go into today is basically some of the ancient wars up. And this is just part 1, all right? Trying to break it down into a couple pieces if you could, right? Just to cover, you know, because the vast amount of atrocities that has been done to us, you know what I mean? And we don't identify with who is the oppressor on the earth, you know? There's still a lot of cloudiness still in 2000. Who is the oppressor? Who is the devil on the earth? Who is the person to really look out for? You understand? Who is the person that causing all this chaos and destruction on the earth? Right? And then the history now is a telltale sign of who they are. You follow what's the race of the people and who the Lord was talking about. You know what I mean? When he's talking about your enemies, you understand? Your enemies will come one way and they'll flee 7. But if you disobey me, you understand, they'll come one way and you will flee 7 ways. You know that kind of way? So that now you could actually catch yourself and you know, breathe for a little bit, because you can now identify what's happening. Because usually, you know, really, usually it's just to try and pay the bills, the basic expenses. Be coming out of a pandemic, right? School is about to start, right? And there's a lot of chaos in terms of trying to see where, you know, you're getting the children book on them from. Right? We are getting, you know, food to sustain them and things done tight already, right? So what it is, our mission is to do is to entirely, understand, get us out of that mode and get us into what we call self-governance, of getting or returning back to self-governance and the self-sustaining, you know, efforts that we as a people can do, right? Which is possible because we have done it before. And actually we have set the template in our historical records. We have set the template for us, for every nation actually, you understand, to operate within wisdom. Operate, you know, without being trampled upon, without being hand-to-mouth. Because that's how people, you know, our people usually live, you understand? On a daily basis, regular basis, regardless if you have billionaires, millionaires, multimillionaires in our race. Our race, by extension, is not acknowledged. It is not respected. We have no representation. There's no seat on the UN Council for us. We are not recognized as a race, so there's no protection for us. There's no reparations can be handed out to people that is not identified. There's no class for them. Right? So these things are critical components to understand exactly where we are and where we need to be as a people. You understand? So without further ado, we'll go into it one time, all right? Let's go to Deuteronomy. Turn with me to your Bibles. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49, all right? Start from verse 49, right? The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation. Nation means race, right? You have this under one compact dictionary here. right? Nation, nationality. When you see that written on a form, what is your nationality? Doesn't mean the place that you were born in. Because if you understand, if I take a poodle, right, and the poodle's parents is from Trinidad and Tobago, but I carry them to Guyana or carry them to Mexico, and the poodle is born over there, right? Or the mother makes the pups over there. Does the pup now become a Mexican national? See, these are the things that we have to look out for with regards to people putting a description on you. How can your race change every 10 years? The Afro-American, Afro-Trinidadian, colored, all of a sudden you turn a Creole, you're black, all these different things, that is telltale sign that something is afoot or something ain't right. Because you could never have a stable sense of identity. Without an identity, you follow? How can you even operate? What do you belong to? What it is your foreparents used to do? What works for you as a people? These things are critically important. You understand? We say we have nationality. What do we have? Let me see. All right, we'll find it in maybe in the Merriam-Webster dictionary a bit later on or something like that, right? But nationality again, as I know breaking down there, as we know, when you filling out forms and all that, right? To travel, to do this, to do that, they ask you for your nationality, right? Nationality means race. So the Lord say when He send a nation against you, He sending a race against you, right? So we're gonna get into who this race is, the characteristics of this race, right? The Lord shall bring a nation against you, against thee from far, right? From far. They wasn't living close to you, right? No neighbors. From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, because we used to speak Hebrew, right? The ancient Paleo-Hebrew. When you look at the front of this Zondervan Bible Dictionary, right? You would see, is it this one or the other one? Or the big one. You will see under language. Let me see if I can find it here real quick, right? Under language. If you look, you understand, you would see, what you call it? You would see different forms of language, right? If I can find it here real quick. Or in the Zondervan, the Pictorial Bible Dictionary. You would see it in the front here, under languages. Yeah, this one, right? But under languages, let me just pull it up real quick so you can see. You would see the period of when the languages was there. Oh, Babylon and Timbuktu. I have this here for sure. It in right. Where would that? Let's see. Right. So this here, right? This chart here. This one here is our language itself, right? This is the ancient, and it says it too, right? Hebrew, all Hebrew, right? So the ancient Hebrew here, you will see the 22 characteristics in our alphabet, so to speak, right? So this here, you follow every race, you understand, a language is attached to them, right? We have the oldest or the language of the past, I should say, right? This is the language we used to speak. So when the Lord says He's sending a nation against you, that which tongue you shall not understand, because we don't speak English. We never used to speak English, Creole, French. You understand? We never used to speak Dutch. We never used to speak Spanish. All of these languages that are called this now, these are this is the nation that speak different languages, but this is the nation that the Lord said that He would send against us. It's one people. They were different tongues, you understand? But when they came here, they met Arawaks and Caribs, some of our brothers and all that, right? When they also take us from the western side of Africa, because we are not Africans, but we was captured on the western side of Africa and shipped across here in the 1600s, right? That language we never used to speak, so that was beaten into us, and that's how we learned to speak the English language today. We were stripped of our language. We'll get into the breakdown of how they go about, or how this nation that the Lord's saying here, that He warning us about in particular, we will get into the after effects of what happened when we was captured by them, because we didn't listen to the Lord, right? So going back to it, right, verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, right? Because usually when black people meet each other and all that, not in today's society, but usually is with a pleasant greeting, you know, how you doing, you know, how things, you know, a smile, that type of stuff. But this nation have a fierce countenance. They don't have compassion in them. And let me bring an instance to it. Last night, right, I saw a very realistic, you understand, situation where there was an Edomite, right? This Edomite was looking at an accident that happened with a lady. A lady lost her husband, right? And the person was trying, the lady, you understand, in shock and disbelief, was trying to scrape her husband's brains back into the man after the accident. This happened in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So the accident happened, and the young lady, you know, we watching it on her phone, and we looking at how she trying her best, you know, to try and scrape the man. She disbelieves, she don't know what the hell happened. She just want to understand her husband back, right? And the Negroes, you understand, everybody, you know, was like, you know, like that is a real sad situation. You know, we had some type of, you know, some type of empathy then. But you see that this Edomite had no soul in him. Absolutely no soul in him. If you see the way he operates, he was actually making jokes about it. And, you know, that is one of the instances I could show. I mean, we in the I.S.U.P.K, we're familiar with the ways of our enemy because we understand that we have to look out for him, right? But now seeing a present example right there and then, it just showing you understand the nature of these people and how the Bible is true. The man had absolutely no compassion. You joke about that, you know, like that was like some type of teddy bear or something, and you pull out the food from it. That is the way the Edomite treated it. That is the spirit of our oppressor, right? So now when you're looking for, you know, compassion and for him to stop shooting you down and that, you know, like to respect a life, then, you know, he hunt animals for game, for sport, and not consider the sanctity of life and all that. That is the kind of spirit he has, right? And that's what we have to look out for. This is the people that rule over us, right? A nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, right? When they send us in, when they capture us, right, they make 70 years and 80-year-olds, you know, still in the cotton field and still requiring about 300 pounds of cotton from them, right? Still requiring a vast amount of cotton from them. They didn't care about the children as well. When the children was in the cotton fields, I think our 3-year-olds, 2 and 3-year-olds, you know, they was working until the flesh was falling off the bone. You look it up in history. If you think we just, you know, speaking on opinions and all that, that actually happened. Right? That is the kind of beast that rules over us. That's the kind of individual, the type of race that rule over us, right? Verse 51, he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle. Just like today, you know, he insists that he must, you know, govern everything and be in control of everything. He does stay in his own land, right? Let me see that in the comments here. Right? He doesn't stay in his own land. Wherever it is he go, he want to make sure he gobble up everything, right? The beast, you working hard, right? You working hard, right? You working hard, you follow, to try and, you know, maintain yourself, you know, to make sure that the people and them have something, you know, to try and have all the livestock and all that. And this man, he just find all kind of different ways to make sure that he cuts you out of any type of agriculture you want to do, any type of large scale, you know, self-sustaining efforts. That is this man. Case in point, Black Wall Street, right? When we was coming up in the 1920s, right? Around the time they called the Great Depression because it was a very great and depressing time for the oppressor, for the Caucasian race, right? They actually bombed Black Wall Street. And that time we was circulating money within our own communities, right? I'm talking about our own banks, you know, our own groceries, you know, everything like that. Everything that you could think of, right? Except the military, right? We was bombed the hell out, right? And misused and continue, you know, just to get back to ground zero. We have lost the culture in a sense of our people in terms of how important it is to protect life, how important it is to protect your culture, how important it is to protect your identity. And segueing into this is what this class in a sense really and truly would be about. Understanding that these things are critical. A military force, in the sense of military might is very important. Today, people think that God is a genie, you know, that God is a soft, you know, tender loving, you know, and he'll stroke you in your back, you know, I mean, pet you in your head, that type of stuff. You're looking to be pet like a feline, like a cat, like a dog, as opposed to, you know, getting protection and structure and instruction in terms of what to do physically, you understand, putting in your efforts as a people, fortifying your defenses as a people, you understand, doing everything that needs to be done to be able to have a sustainable and a running, a fully functional society. That is what we're missing. You follow? That's why we was destroyed or we was bombed, right? Because we separated ourselves from the Spirit of the Most High. The Spirit of the Most High, the Lord is a man of war. Just like anybody that run a territory, thinking about it today, like the ghetto. You can't go into the ghetto just like that. Certain places you can't go into. That is for protection reasons. You know what I mean? That's how we're supposed to be. Our people, we're not even protecting the word. You understand? Everybody could come and interfere with this. Anybody could teach it. When nobody except the men and the men in the I.S.U.P.K under command in GEN.YAHANNA is authorized to teach this Bible. That's supposed to be, understand, something that people are supposed to fear. To be able to pick up and read your words, you follow? Just like the legislation. You can't go into Congress and pick it up and declare what you want and change this and change that. You follow? You're supposed to be a man of noble stature, you know, a politician, go through a period like a Senate, you know, a senator and was a mayor and then turn a senator and all them different things before you could handle that seat of office. Now today, you understand, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can pick up the Bible, right? And spin their interpretation of their truth, so-called. When this Bible is saying that there's no private interpretation, right? That's a critical and key component, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man and woman, that you must recognize that you are under siege, you are under attack, right? Spiritually, you understand, mentally and physically. And what you need to do, you understand, is understand exactly what is happening. That's what the scriptures say in Romans 13 and 11. You understand, it's high time to wake out of sleep. It's high time, you understand, that you understand that, hey, this is a pressing matter. This we need to put vast attention to quickly, you understand, with quickness, with speed. This needs to, you understand, come up on the forefront of our minds and build back up the wall. Right now, we don't have any walls. You understand? We're destroyed. And from every sector, you follow? And if you continue that way, you understand, there will be no future for you. But the Lord is already putting something in place. You have something in place, which is the I.S.U.P.K. You follow? That is the men that you're talking about have not bowed the knee to Baal. Because we understand God and broke. Without the fear, understand for what it is the enemy will do and all of that. We need to fear the Most High power. That he will give us protection again, you follow? And come back on top, come back into how we're supposed to be operating. This class, in the sense, we're going to touch into where some short periods, right? In fact, let me segue into that one time. Let's go over into the life of this man, Christopher Columbus, right? So we're going to touch on the book Lost Tribes and Promised Land. You get an idea of this man that has been known to lead the 1492 conquest, right? Or the conquistadors that came across to the Caribbean islands, right? Central and South America, and disrupt the entire, you understand, the entire existence of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. Because the Lord sent that enemy against us. So a base man, if follow without compassion, without knowledge, without this man didn't even have, you understand, a royal lineage that he came from. All right, so this is page 44, right, or page 74 for those that have it in the book, right? This is PDF version. For those that have it in their books, that have the book Lost Tribes and Promised Land, written by Ronald Sanders, right? This is page 44, second paragraph to the right side, right? What is especially noteworthy? What is especially noteworthy about all this mystery surrounding the origins and early life of Columbus is that he himself was the most ardent contributor to it. He was the person that says, you understand, that this is me and this is my status and this is where I come from. He is the one contributing to it. When the scripture is telling us, you understand, anybody with some common sense would know that somebody should, you understand, say that you understand, you are a wise man, or somebody should put that on you. You should give you the accolades. You can't give yourself accolades. Just like in the UPK, you can't give yourself a name. The man above you give you a name. You understand? The man husband, a woman husband, sorry. You understand? The woman husband, he gives her name. You follow? He observes that. Just like a system of checks and balances, because there's a system of accountability. There's need, you understand, for proper routes to run. You follow? So things can be done because more experienced persons could actually, you know, help things flow along the way it's supposed to because they have more experience. It's simple as that. Right? And more importantly, that is what the Lord set up in his wisdom, right? So this man contribute all the accolades and everything like that upon himself, but making it in latter years a round of ambiguous and contradictory statements. Of course, everybody will find him out that he's a liar, right? On his youth, that bespeaks nothing so consistently as a desire to be confusing and evasive. The so-called white man again, right? And from there, turn to pause right there and you turn to Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. Again, another attribute showing you understand the mind of this beast. how he does operate. You understand? So this is the book of Psalm chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked, not the righteous, you understand? Not the weak, but the wicked, right? That the scriptures talking about here, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? Now, who the Lord is talking about here is the wicked on the earth. There's a race of people, you understand, that identifies with this, or they, understand, are 99.999% responsible for all the wickedness that is perpetrated on the earth. Because that's how they operate. They live by the sword, Genesis 27 and 40. They live by the force of the sword, you know what I mean? No compassion as just bringing about in the situation or the story, you understand, that I witnessed yesterday with my own eyes, with the Edomite and the characteristics of the people, right? Edomite or Caucasian race, man from a Caucasian race, right? This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth, the rulership on the planet today, Job is prophesying here because he knows this is going to happen. The Lord showing him this, is given into the hands of the wicked, right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. We are the judges, you understand? Alahayim, which is powers, judges, you understand, rulers in Hebrew. That's who we are. If only the Lord has give a man, you understand, dominion or power, you understand, over his house, right? Coming up, that's the power structure. You have first son, you have responsibility, which is power. You understand? You have, and of course, privileges. But the most important thing is you have responsibility. As the first son, the second son, third son, whatever the case is, the father will give you instruction in terms of this is to take care of before they grow up a particular way, right? So that this is your culture, you're versed in it. That's not what we have today because we are stripped from our culture, you understand, our heritage, and how we're supposed to operate as a people, right? So he knows, you understand, Job again, you understand, prophesying that this will have me covering the faces of the judges, right? If not, so if this is not the case, if the earth is not given into the hands of the wicked, meaning the Caucasian race is the person that ruling everything, the oil, everything, putting sanctions on Russia, you know what I mean? All them different things in them, right? Of course, there's an Edomite war between the both of them, but this is all coming together, you know, for a beautiful thing. That will mean the deliverance, you understand, or the end of the wicked rulership of this planet and on to, you understand, the righteous rulership of the Lord's 12 tribes of Israel once again, right? Again, we'll see an instance a bit later on where Solomon, right, did a beautiful example where a heathen even tried to come up against him, you know, to try and bamboozle him or try to find fault with him, right? And then the Lord, in the Son, so beautiful in his wisdom that he poured out into Solomon. The woman had to, you know, she had to basically stand down. She had to back down from that shippiness and give up, you know, give glory to the Most High power. That's where we need to return again. That's where we want to, right? So Job is saying now, so if not, where and who is he? So if this man is not the man who controlling the whole earth and not covering the faces of the judges thereof, most importantly, you understand, the people who are supposed to set up righteous rulership on the planet, where you understand this eradicate corruption, so all these politicians that doing all this madness, that can happen, right? When the righteous in authority, but because the wicked in authority, the people mourn. As in Proverbs 29 telling me, you understand? So again, let me go back to this man now, just to put just to stick a pin or identify, you understand, who the scripture is talking about when they're talking about wicked, right? And the attributes of them so that you can identify one time. When you see black people doing this, you understand this is not their nature to be this way. They learn to be cowards, you understand, and just play themselves basically because we not ruling. One, these people is ruled by death, and still they just be found out to be liars, right? The only thing is they believe in their heart that they'll never be punished, and that is not the reality. So black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, stop siding with your oppressor that is about to be destroyed. If Russia, understand, and Ukraine and all these different things is not warning enough, it's not telltale signs that you need to be, you understand, coming back to your power. Because every nation going back to their own, right? You see how the Jewish community lives, see how the East Indian community lives, you see how the Chinese community lives. Do the Chinese hire people? Does the Chinese hire black people just like that? Unless it's some, you understand, we call it N dog, you understand, dog walk, right? Some kind of thing where you're scraping garbage or some kind of something that they could pay a pittance on that it wouldn't cost them anything. They will never put you in a strategic place, you understand, to take over their businesses and all that. Understand something, right? If it's not for their benefit, they have no business dealing with you. If they would not, they would like to never deal with you at all. All they'd like to do is collect your money and fry rice and sell fried rice and chicken wings. Fried rice and chicken wings or chicken fried rice, whatever. They would love to just, understand, take and take and take and take as much as they can, because they know that you don't have any economic structures. You know that you don't ship anything. You know, you don't create, you understand, you don't manufacture nothing. So you understand, you're the perfect slave or the perfect person fitted, you understand, to continue to fuel their economy. But the thing is, not even that is sufficient for them. They rather, understand, rape our children, just like the Venezuelans, and you understand, 15-year-olds and 13-year-olds and all of that. They have, you understand, in a bottle. Talking about this man was maybe some kind of colonel in the Chinese government. How the hell use a military, a high-ranking military soldier, and this is what you are? All this power and all them different. You can have all kind of different women, right? And you choose to have children. Something wrong with you. These people in them, you understand, absolutely disgusting. That's why, you understand, the Lord showing us these things, and these people was never supposed to have the opportunity to rule over us. Never. In 1,000 years, you understand? So black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man understand something. Coming through the records and all this historical background, evidence and all that is to show you, understand, the real nature of the people, so that you know that today they didn't change, so that you would not expect them to change later on. Stick up in right there. Because you're thinking, you understand, that politics is going to change them out. Somehow they'll be policed by that. When have they? We know that there's a law, you understand, for the rich and a law for the poor. We see it all the time. You see, you understand, they don't go and collect license. They don't go and drive and basically all of them on the road and all kind of different things. There's all kind of different chapters set up, and you need to be freed from that. Understand something? As long as you're comfortable there, they don't care. Understand, if your children and them have to get, you understand, fed the dogs tomorrow, for them to, understand, to smoke a rock, or for them to have sex with a hoe or a child. They don't care. You understand? So we had to come back to common sense, which is, you understand, our records, our historical records. We have, you understand, a structure. We have, we call it a template and a constitution to live by, right? It is called the King James Bible, right? So you need to get up in it, you know what I mean? Get up in the mix and understand how to escape the traps of this society, all right? We don't know about this man, you know. So no doubt, we're in the second to last passage here, right on this page here. If I could have my mouse there so we could track it, especially, and this is where I am right now, right? So no doubt, this is to some extent the mark of a man who has risen in the world and does not care to offer or be offered reminders of his humble birth, proud and arrogant. As long as he can get away with it and there's room for it, again, in a corrupt society, that's what Christ talking about, you understand? The way we call it. When he come back, it ain't gonna have no corrupt governments again. Basically that. He trying to put an end to that. It's just we, understand, keeping it afloat. That's all. Right? But there be many more. But sorry, they may be more to it than that. The great Spanish statesman and historian Salvador de Madariaga has offered an audacious theory that, if correct, will not only resolve many of the contradictions in the story of Columbus's origins and early life, but also explain a number of mysteries surrounding his latter career. According to Madariaga's hypothesis, the Mencio Colombo of Genoa, his wife and their children were a family of new Christians, most likely descended from Catalan Jews. Again, you cannot be, understand, a convert according to God. The black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man are the descendants, the direct descendants of Jacob and his 12 sons. You cannot convert, you understand, to a race. That does not happen today. Nor could it ever happen 10,000 years ago. You understand? 5,000 years ago. Neither in the future. That will never happen. There's no evolution of dogs today. There's no evolution of cats today. There's no evolution of lizards today. You understand? A lizard will always be the lizard family. Bird will always be the bird family. Right? We need to stop being lied to and stop loving lies because we're comfortable with some pittance. And just enough. Understand something. They have no problem. They have no issue doing business with you. You understand? And having no change about how they operate. Why should you? What do you owe to the heathen? Does the heathen give you breath in the morning? Does the heathen, you understand, pump life and blood in your veins? Think about that. Operate and do your business like normal. You don't owe nobody nothing. You owe, you understand, to serve the Most High power and the love to your people. Nothing wrong with that. Take care of yours. Don't run to take care, you understand, inside the Westmoreland's house and leaving, you understand, your house and your neighborhood in shambles. That makes sense. So when the defense comes, when things needed for your community, but you picking up everybody else on before. What do you think will happen with yours? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, or woman. Stop, you understand, running to and fro inside people's house, you understand, busybody. Or people issues and pray for Ukraine. When Ukrainians pray for Compton and Lavantel and Beatum and Silots and Point and Library, when do we see that? They don't meddle with you, brother, sister. They're not meddling with you. Take care of your own. Let them sort out the problem. No problem. They have military power. Let NATO send guns for them and food and aid and all of that. Whereas ours, they bring 100,000. When will we learn that? They bring 100,000 Ukrainians, you understand? And bypass brothers and sisters from Mexico and waiting to get into the US for how much months now? Maybe years trying to apply to get into there. And they walk through scotch-free. No checking in the middle of a pandemic, no checking to see only, no the temperature, to checking to see if they have any diseases, checking to any criminal history, checking to see if there's any child molesters, right? All these different things and them criminals, drug dealers, no checking. You're white, you understand? You're approved. Stamp. Boom. Inside. When will we, you understand, wake up and smell the coffee? You understand? History ain't changing. You understand? The history there is to show us. You understand? Like Romans 13 and 4 telling you. The things are written aforetime, written for your learning, that we read through patience and comfort, that the scriptures are your records. You understand? The testimonies are your forefathers and them. What we do, you understand? How we trusted in the Most High and always does delivered. Even in death, you understand? We come back in a better state of mind, a better place. You follow? Just like the woman and her 7 sons, that they took the debt manfully, you understand? They took the debt, comfortable in debt, you understand? No sweat, because they don't know the Lord is going to repay full vengeance, you understand? He's going to cut off our enemies by the sword. They will pay for that, and they'll make to work and build back up this whole society that they broke down. Everywhere they had beat them looking in a field, you follow? They're going to have no mask and to work with. Don't worry. They are real work for them. You understand? So we have to understand that, hey, the Lord trying to free we from this captive, from this bondage. Come out at all the drugs, you understand, the opium and the weed and the cocaine, you understand? And then you go back to scratch, you go back to square one, and your whole mind mash up. Because, you know what I mean? You're just playing for now. You can't play for now. You have to play for forever. Play forever, you understand? Instead of being a lifer, instead of here, we's lifers. UPK, you understand? Instead of here, this for life, yo. You understand? We want the casket and all to take our brother or sister. First, we want them around. First, we have work to do. First is niceness, you understand? First is thing. We don't care what we face. Once we together, you understand? We're going to get everything. You understand? If everything means, you understand, 2 raft, you understand, and 2 tree animal, you understand? That is what it is. You follow? We in a hurry, you understand? We know the kingdom coming, and when the kingdom built and established, we're going to have everything. Scripture say the daytime don't close night and day. It's the real thing. So these liars and them that talking about this and all that, you know what I mean? And Catalan Jews. Look up Catalan Jews. In fact, let you look it up one time. Let you look it up one time, right? I look it up before already, but let you look it up one time for the classic, right? Catalan Jews. Who know them? Right? Catalan Jews. Let's see who know them. Who them is. So all I'm gonna say we bias now, right? Again, Jews of Catalonia. Where Catalonia is? Let go look it up, right? Catalonia. Let me see who go right. Let's look it up now, man. Let's see Wikipedia you say now. The contribution of Wikipedia, right? Jews of Catalonia, Catalonian Jewry, right? Catalonian Judaism in Hebrew. That is just in Hebrew, that you see the name, blah, blah, blah. Is the Jewish community. Jewish again. Ish, you understand? Like black ish is not black. Jewish is not Jew. Moving on. Is the Jewish community that lived in the Iberian Peninsula, in the lands of Catalonia. Catalonia is in Spain, right? Let me pull it up just to make sure. So that Tazo in Spain, your own ideas and ideologies and all that. You know what I mean? This is for learning. This is for the people. This isn't for we, right? Again, this article is about the Spanish autonomous community, right? For the so-called political entity, blah, 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 blah. Catalonia, right? Right, Spanish, right, is an autonomous community of Spain. So that is the origins of these people and them. Our people, you understand, was sold and moved to these islands, but that is not the place of our origin. The place of origin is Jerusalem, you understand, in Israel, in the Middle East. That's where we resided, right? Up above, you understand? Let's pull them up real quick. The land of Israel. Land of Israel. That's so we get the idea of where we were. right? And then we'll pull, you understand, a little bit of history from the, where is it? Page 84, right? Second paragraph, right? The land of Israel, and I still, yeah, I still map them, right? Nice. All right, at least you can pull one here. Pull which one? We have it. Nice, you see here? Boom, that's exactly what we're talking about here. Now, this region here is upper above, it's in the Mediterranean Sea here, so that's you'll see, right? The 12 tribes of Israel. I'll pull the right exact one, no sign Christ, right? View the image, just come back. View image. Nice, you see the tribes here. This is the 12 tribes of Israel. If you look on the wall here, you would see, you understand, where the tribes are again. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Issachar, Naphtali. Right? You see our names here? Judah, you understand, where Benjamin? Benjamin, where Benji? Anyway, Ephraim here, Dan, Gad, Reuben, you understand, Manasseh, you know, calling here, Naphtali, Zebulun, Issachar, Asher. You understand? That is where we reside, Simeon. Right? Those that's where we were born. Well, where we dwelt. Catalonia and all them different places and all that. Right? And why they call us African today is because this is what happened to us, right? Where are we? Right? This is the Babylon, the book, the Babylon on page 84, right? For people that watch the class all the time and all that, they're familiar with this. Right? So that's so you know, maybe new brother or sister, Lord, you know what I mean? Most of guys that you're watching it, right? In the year 65 BC, is the second paragraph, right? Right, we highlighted it in the green. We're gonna pull out a piece of history on what happened to us and why we not recognized for the lands that we're in, right? In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem, captured our homeland, right? In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son, Titus, put an end to the Jewish state, right? So the Jew state, where we say they put an end to that. So in other words, let me go into that a little bit more, right? But this is the start of them putting an end to our, you know, our societal structure as it was supposed to be, right? And next highlight again, this year is the Caucasian race. Just to put a stick up in on that again, another instance, you know what I mean, that the Lord warning us about this nation with a fierce countenance that shall not regard the fair, the old, neither young, right? That's how data operate. Because, let me segue into this real quick, and then get back on right here, right? Just now, bear with me. Right, so according to Daniel chapter 2, it gives us a breakdown on the captivities that we'll face after Egypt, of course, right? So the Assyrian captivity we passed through, right? The 10 tribes they passed through that time. The Babylonian captivity they passed through, right? The Medo-Persian captivity, right? And then the Greek captivity. We had our language, culture, records in Egypt, in Assyria, in Babylon, in Medo-Persia. Look up the races of these people that we was under, and we had our culture, language, history, well, records, and dignity intact to a certain degree. Look at them. And then when we reach the Greeks now, look at the race of who the Greeks are. Look at the races that we was under, where we at least had these things intact. And as soon as we touch this nation, this race of fierce countenance that will not regard the old, neither new, neither young, sorry. You follow? That is where things went all the way downhill. The Lord never wanted us to reach to that stage. Never ever wanted us to be under the hands of this beast. Again, as you understand the experience that I had last night self, watching this devil, you understand? Having absolutely no compassion, no sanctity for life, nothing. He just watched it, you understand, and was making jokes about that thing. That's soulless beast. And I want to go into even more, a little more detail, something more, even more disgusting about that situation, about this person. And the thing is, we just get caught up with them and think that they're nice friend to have. The scripture tells you, understand, who will put your chicks a snake charmer? This man, you understand, the most subtle beast who's crawling his belly. He is operating like a snake, operating, that's how he does move, you understand, crafty, cunning. The most subtle beast on the field. This person is not a friend. Who will put your snake charmer? You go next time, there's all a snake do bite you. Sting you, understand? Kill you. You want to have them as a friend and in your bed. Sad. Sad. You didn't know, you understand, is committing suicide, you're looking to commit it. You're suicidal. You need a mental evaluation. Black man, black woman, you understand? Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, Native Indian man, Native Indian woman. If you think any of them races and them is to be played with, because all of them, you understand, still are joining with the beast. All of them is partner with them. All of them sit down in the UN together and take counsel against us on how they could use us, you understand, how they could continue to have slave labor and things running real nice, gas prices raising, this raising, that raising, nothing changing for us. Things getting actually worse. Yeah, so don't think that anybody else is your friend like East Indian, Chinese, whoever the case is, right? That's how them operating. They pick their side already. No problem, no sweat. You don't want to side with the weak, you understand? You don't want to side with the Lord, no problem. You want to go against God, you think your hands, you understand, long enough to hit them some jab, no sweat. You yourself, you understand that pandemic is just, you know what I mean? And there are more variants coming out that more stealthy and all that deadly. Like 400,000, you understand? East Indians dying, you know what I mean? In East India, that wasn't enough, you know what I mean? Remember all the choose, eh? So this is not hate speech. Don't try and flag the video, you understand? It's a hate speech. This is what actually happened. Y'all chose your side. I mean, and choose to go against us according to Psalm 83. Right? You conspire against us, so be it, you understand? As you make a bed, that you heard a lie. So you feel like, you understand? So moving on. Going back to this piece of history now, again, back to Babylon, Timbuktu, again, on page 84, second paragraph, reading on. During the period of the military governance of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities, rapings, you understand, hangings, lynchings, what that sound like? And this was in 70 AD. That is 70 years after Christ died. But that sound like when black man get gunned down the street, you understand? Or some police with the mind of the oppressor in Trinidad here, abusing people, you understand? And killing this one and killing that one. And calling this one pest and cockroach and all that. Does sound familiar? They're the mind of the oppressor. They follow. That's the man that ruling the earth today and covering the judges thereof. He don't want no judgment. He hate to hear that this is wickedness that you're doing here. He hate to hear that. He hate to be chastised for all the wrongs that you're doing. He wants to look like, understand, like pure and white. Lily white. He is not a white man. This is white. This white. He red, you understand? But he loves anything to look pure, but to be absolutely evil on the inside. He don't wants to be called out for all his wickedness, but no sweat. The Lord is the man, and the Son is going to reveal the son of perdition, the son of destruction. That is what these classes are all about, to reveal who he is so that we could come away from that shepherdness and come out of that, you understand, that disgusting, abusive love relationship for over 500 years plus, you understand, and come back to the Most High power. Come back to our command, come back to righteous living, come back to rulership, come back to be the judges on the earth again. I rather understand, take the responsibility to make sure the place govern right than to be under people under their foot. You understand? Yeah, they can take all the shots they want, you understand? Because the Lord don't play neither. They take shots at Christ. That's what the brother, you understand? The comment legit pro. We ain't afraid of that. You understand? We go to war, you understand? Go to battle anyhow you take it. You understand? Physically, spiritually, you understand? We call it with debates, whatever. Battle mode 24/7, no sweat. So take the shots, no problem at all, right? What you all need to do is just side with the Lord. That is the most important thing. Side with the Lord. Understand the ways of the Most High power. Camps, there's no camp again. A segue again. There's no camps, there's no school outside of the I.S.U.P.K. Understand? Everybody need to come and start from scratch to learn exactly what it is the Lord wanted to learn. To come back and serve the Most High power. You hear Christ say, if you ain't converted, you understand? If you ain't come as children, then if you ain't empty, you understand that if you ain't empty that whole bag, that whole wine skin, you understand, and come back and get a new wine skin, you can't serve the Most High power. You can't come with your own ideologies, you understand, and come and serve the Lord. That is why it's very hard for them to get in. You say, hey, if you understand, man and woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, black man, black woman, Native Indian man, Native Indian woman, have ears to hear what the Lord's saying and eyes to see. You blessed, understand, because the Lord done say already, I think it's Matthew 13 and 11, right? Unto you it is given to understand the mysteries of the kingdom, not to anybody else, not to some filthy, disgusting bastard, some treacherous, understand, disloyal sucker. Not them, you understand? That ain't given to them. You given, you understand, the power, you understand, to come back and rule the planet. You understand, the women, you all have the privilege, you understand, to be among that number. If all to support, you understand, the entire destruction of a wicked society and come back, you understand, to your people ruling in righteousness forever and an everlasting name. You follow? So don't sweat no shots. They don't take all the shots in the world, you follow? They better come correct. And I know they ain't coming correct. They ain't matching what the Lord saying, because this is the Lord working. The same task one of Stagaloan, you understand? Commanding General, you follow Commanding General, run this thing. But Christ, you understand, the Most High and Christ give it in. You follow? And they have any issues at all, you understand? Bring it to them, man. But they come and ask a question and take shots, like some clown. Come and ask, so you reason together, you understand? But that's not the issue. If you want to be a brother or sister, you know what you do? You go sit down and ask a question. If I want to learn something, that's where I go. I go to class. You understand? If I want to keep chaos, I stand up on the outside and condemn it and make a judgment based upon nothing that I know. Yeah? Only a fool is not a fool. The scripture says a fool despise wisdom and instruction. So choose to be a wise man and not a fool. You understand? The time very short. Don't play it. Come up in his body. You understand? Ask a question. Man up. Gird up your loins like a man. Sister, the same thing. Gird up your loins and prepare your mind. The dark days ahead of us. You understand? The Lord's Passover is a week away. You know Satan jumping out here. He's supposed to do that. He's supposed to come heavy. Then bring his so-called hammer, man. We are thinking for that. We are with the Most High power. You understand? In week. He real strong. All right. So back to the class. Right. So during the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. You understand? So that is what going with us. Again, us coming from this section of the world, which is over Africa here. You follow? Just above Africa. The only way that we can actually escape, you understand, the kind of atrocities as we see, you understand, right in the historical record, it was saying that many outrages and atrocities was done to us. You understand? We was forced to eat our own children, forced to eat leather to survive. You understand? Because when you see somebody, meaning that you surround the entire race, or you surround the entire section, so it pictures. You understand? Getting squeezed the entire box, you know. And 1 million Jews, you understand, try to leave, and there's plenty of us. So that's just at one section, right? At one time. So imagine that they could have captured 1 million. You know that they could have kind of number them or estimate. As I say, it is estimated 1 million Jews flee from here, from this section, and went into Africa. You understand? Went across to this side here, right to the left-hand side, fleeing. Reading on, right? Fleeing to Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, right? The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves, right? So of course, when you get captured across there and sold in Ghana, and what we call the door no return, and all them different places that you hear about, that's exactly how we got sold. It's not because we were Ghanaians. Ghanaians didn't sell Ghanaians. Ethiopians didn't sell Ethiopians. Understand? Cameroonians didn't sell Cameroonians. They sell Israelites. Understand? Nobody sell the family just like that. You know what I mean? All of they just do all kind of different things across there. They still just defend each other again. Sit on the UN. You follow? Uganda, understand, a very base place. They still are representation. Ethiopia, same thing. They are representation. I mean, they might be rich now and all that. You know, they have money. Ghana, all different places. And you just want that, Nigeria and all them places. You just want to identify something that has some status. But you don't understand that you're the ruler of the planet. That you descend from the rulers of the planet. And that is what your legacy going to be. The Lord didn't try to cut you off in a sense because he wanted to. That's not what he wanted for us. He wanted us to always rule on the planet because he know we have the ability to give that to us, our forefathers. That's our heritage. You understand? To govern everything right and distribute things accordingly and all that. That's who we are. We understand? We are the rulers and powers, the judges that this Edomite, this wicked race covering on the face of the earth, right? Reading on, right? So again, what you quoting here is this in the same chapter here, in the same book. He quoting this thing here that happened with us in Deuteronomy 20:28. You understand? 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee, right? I know probably can see that here. Right? Let's pull it up real fast. Let me see you here. That's what I get to see it now, right? That's underneath here, this section right here, so that is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. That is the historians and them, they back up what the Bible say. Anytime you go outside of that, you know what I mean, they go off course, right? But the historians and them, that's how we know that this is an actual event. These things and them actually happen. It is not, you know, the Bible is not a fairy tale. The Bible is the actual historical records of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, right? And the prophecy, of course, you know what I mean, which is, you know, part and parcel of the records, because that does work hand in hand. Yeah? It is what the Lord chose to do it. And it's a good thing because the Bhagavad Gita don't have no prophecy. You understand? The Quran don't have no prophecy, right? The Agadu Bulgu, the whatever book they read in, understand, in Africa, that don't have no prophecy, right? The Book of Mormon don't have no prophecy, you understand? All them different things in it. They can't match what the Lord doing because the Lord makes sure that He put something distinct to make sure that we could catch back ourselves in this time in 2022, right? When still being stripped from our records, where we not acknowledged as a race, not acknowledged as the children of Israel, where they don't call us Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Ephraim, you know what I mean? They don't call us that. They call us, you know, whatever name they choose to every 10 to 20 years, right? Which again is a disrespect because somebody else, as they say, you know, you call them out my name. That ain't not my name, you understand? We really do it. We feel it is. Right? And that is what going on with us. Base people rule over us right now. And that, you understand? Upside down. If to say it in that way, upside down, it ain't supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? Give me 1 second here. Slack. Let's check and see what check some very quick. Yeah, alright, Slack. I bet my one, right? Hey, Slack, you should look at Slack, right? And class here, teaching class. Now, so call you right back right after class, right? If anything, send my voice note to a message, but we can right? To one again. So look at that. Right, so right. So that's what the Lord say go happen to us. You know what I mean? That's just one of them that He say go happen to us. So moving on. Now we go to we're going over to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 15, right? Another instance. When you check the timeline of Baruch and all these different things in them that He warning us, you know what I mean? We Israel, you understand? Try your best not to reach it. Just like Jonah. Jonah telling people in the man, Nineveh, you understand? If you don't repent, the Lord, Jonah didn't even want to do it. Because you know how rebellious other people we could be, how stubborn and foolish we could be, understand? As opposed to choosing wisdom and choosing, you know what I mean? Just to go on the right path and do what is good. As opposed to, you know, just playing the fool. And then how to start back from scratch or even recover, you understand, from plenty worse than as opposed to just moving on to the right path, going along them lines all the time. Right? Baruch chapter 4 and verse 15. For He had brought a nation upon them from far, again, just like Deuteronomy 28 and 50 and all that say, right? A shameless nation. They have no shame. That's why I pull this particular scripture in, right? A shameless nation and of a strange language. Because again, we didn't speak Hebrew. I mean, we didn't speak English and Dutch and Spanish and all that, right? Who neither reverence old man, neither pity child. Right? So it's just another instance where He's showing us all over the Bible, you understand that this is the people. So just so that you can reiterate and know that, hey, don't do that. Just like somebody want to remember, don't do this. Remember, you understand? Make sure not to do this. Remember, when you're driving the car, you understand? Put it on park before you. When you're switching off, you understand? Make sure that you keep your foot on the brakes, put it on park first, pull up the handbrake, then switch off. Don't leave it, you understand? And thing, whatever the case is, right? Or the chapter, whatever the case is, you can roll back down the hill. You understand? Something will happen, so make sure you do the thing the right way, right? All them little warnings and them, right? The Lord tried to show us for a long, long time. He never wanted us to end up under the hands of this beast. He never wanted us to be raped, you understand? He never wanted us to be molested. He never wanted us, you understand, to be in poverty this way and killing each other, you understand, for small things and selling drugs to each other and all this nonsense. And on top of that, glorifying it. Like, you know what I mean? Look how brothers is just, look at all the captains I'm on the way, you know what I mean? Something small, simple, you know what I mean? You can look real good with it, you know what I mean? Nothing big. And you're looking real good. I'm to you. We talking about selling drugs here, brother, and it's all kind of different. Look at plant change the way it grow, animal change the way it grow. You understand? Making way, we call it something with your hands that change the way it go. The price might be a little high now because we're under oppression, but at the same time, you know, you could compensate accordingly. What the hell are you doing? You understand? Pushing people drugs because they're not yours. You don't have money to bring in not containers and guns and drugs. You don't have the clout, you understand, and the connection and corruption to gun that are partially ports and all that. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, what you doing? You're doing birds. Look at how much are we, you understand? We could come together properly, you know, we could have it nice. It's just I mean, so we had to really catch yourself. What we doing? Right? All this they learn from a shameless nation. They have no problem, you understand? Prostituted daughters and making wars out of the children and all this madness. They had no problem doing that. We was never supposed to be in the lineage, you know, anywhere close to that, and the real catch yourself, you understand, come out of that. That is a nightmare. Now deep sleep is a nightmare, right? And here one, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1, right? Right. We don't come from verse 1 down to 8, right?
Of Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 1.
Oh God.
The word that came to Jeremiah.
Oh, so okay, 17 and 1. And 1. Yeah, okay, sure.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron.
Right, pause right there, right? So the sin of Judah, there's the head tribe. He's supposed to be showing me exactly how to, you know, operate and all that now, but you read with the iron pen, he decide by rest of and by don't care by. You understand? This is what it is I going to do, and I going to commit all the sin I want to do. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a joke thing now. Not understanding what will happen later on. You know, just pride now again. You know, some of you brothers and them, some of we sometimes do some kind of shoppiness, right? That we learn in the world. But coming out of the world, you understand, still let go for that to understand that that ain't good. Right? You meet Morgan a man and then you want to go and try to, you know, they call it try to push a man off your block. This kind of way, you know, for girl. You know, to look like some kind of way as opposed to show, you know, how you understand, resourceful and how wise it could be and intelligence a woman could trust him. You understand? Go for it, and then sisters getting caught up to now with that shoppiness, you know what I mean? They say, well, he's a bad man. Yeah, and then he dead, you understand? And then somewhere else, you know what I mean? You leave your scraping. Or you there too, or park up somewhere because, you know, you have a bullet, hit your spine and then you can't walk with your life. And you know, you're too twin, outer bag, we call it colostomy bag, like a club. Don't go into that. That's garbage. That wise. Yeah? Yes, sir, we done?
Okay. And with the point of a diamond.
With the point of a diamond, in a sense, he put that on the heart, in a sense, he signify that thing easy. Well,
it is graven upon the table of their heart.
Mm-hmm. You engrave that thing, it's about send by, okay. We done?
And upon the horns of your altars.
Upon the horns of your altars, let them pastor them today, you understand? Teaching you to all time of manner wickedness. I will stand from rebelliousness. We done, sir?
Verse 2. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills.
Upon the high hills. So all this cause, understand? We take anyway, read on, sir, go ahead.
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my mountain in the field.
Oh my government in the field, go ahead.
I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders.
Right, so since you wanted to crop the place, understand, I go take my hand for it. I will let the enemy come in, understand, and distort everything that all they want to do. All they feel all they sin, understand, they live comfortable now. Understand something, here what happened there, because you decide that, hey, I'm going to engrave this thing on my heart. I'm going to sin and I don't care what the consequences, I don't care about this one, don't care about that. You lose brotherhood and sisterhood, you follow? When you sin, you teach people them to sin. So since you want to do that, everywhere now, you see that church is all over the damn place, teaching people to do all kind of manner wickedness all over the damn place now. This is the end result, right? You understand? Since they wanted to light in the door, then, since you feel real bad. You don't, sir?
God. Verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Pause right there. So what the Lord talking about here again, you understand? Because under the Assyrian, under the Egyptian, we had the culture and we heritage. We know who he was, right? Under the Assyrian, same thing. Under the Babylonian, same thing. Under the Persian Medo. Yeah, under the Persians and Medes, you understand? We had culture. So what the Lord telling you, understand, is these people that had never wanted it to be under, if all of this diabolical beast, that is who going to ship you from your heritage and your culture. If you think, well, God use the baddest man on the face of the planet, yo, you understand, use a ruler, use a governor, you understand, use a politician, and you feel, and there's a warning to the politicians and today, or everybody that mix up in that callaloo, understand some, yo. If you feel, understand this way it is, when the Lord, understand, take the protection over you, if all of that people get kidnap your chain and bugger them and all kind of madness, you follow, and you feel that you can't get touched neither. Because you in bed with them, you understand? You feel, well, by the Chinese is your friend and all kind of different things. When our, you understand, normal people, Normal black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian woman on and all that. One of them go online in a slumber party almost every time, brother. Align, sir? Almost every single time. Every time they take one chance and end up around these predators and them, we just find up either hang, dead, all kind of different in a wrap up in a format with all the organs them outside. Oh, large no should get out go. Oh, go. And is that correct? Is right. Straight I end up on the set, right? And almost every time, you understand, you just want to take the chance to be around them, and you find you and end up dead. You understand? All the labor, everything outside there, I talk about that with scripture, talking about that shameless people, them look here. Anything they defending that, you know. They don't want to be sentenced for that. They don't want to get called out on that. They don't want to say by their wickedness. You understand what we're doing? This is our psychomaniac. You understand? That is what we people are facing. We had to come out of that snare. There's that trap, yo. You know, you understand, you can't breathe properly. It's only because the Lord, you understand, didn't give you the spirit of fear that we don't, you know what I mean? And we walk around and we real frightened and things like that, especially knowing what's going on with these beasts and them. We must set for the defense of people, and that is where you need to be. Your mental, you understand, that come up. Sister, you too, you understand, because right now you're real unaware, especially as a woman. You understand, you just walk the road, you watch, you understand, before you turn. All the women, every time you bounce up somebody on the road, you understand, them women are always creating traffic and jam. They didn't watch before they turn and before they step somewhere. You all need to step all your mind up and come out of that trap, because I'm telling you, it's real destruction didn't come. Real destruction taking place right now, and they know that you're not aware. You understand? Just the fact that 500,000 or 207,000, you understand, children being aborted a year. That is genocide, you understand? That is war on people. You're trying to wipe out a race. When you got the pandemic slow down, you understand? Plan further than them, you know? They suffer for a little bit. They should be part of business long time, because how they start the eugenics movement, you understand, is based upon that. Upon, you understand, the extermination of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, you understand, race. Right? That's the next form of warfare. Understand what's going on. Pay attention. Come to class, you understand, ask your questions. Link, you understand, with the closest school next to you. You can't afford not to be in the I.S.U.P.K. You can't afford to play, you understand? If you on games here, you understand, there's no that debt to come. For all them, you understand, the naysayers and all that, you understand, do what they want you. We don't concern. You understand? We don't care about that, because we look at the push forward and let this whole thing shut down. I tell you straight, we don't have time to care. Real talk. If you're not, you understand, rocking with him outside yet, forget that. You go and play games somewhere else. You understand? All Jake, let me call him, man. All them fellas who play, and they want to tag men and talk with all kind of macro and thing. You understand? We don't have time with that. I tell you straight. Man, straight ignoring you then, because we don't have that at all. Yeah. We don't have time. There is real work to do. You understand? To come up in these ranks. Sisters, all get, you understand? Go get yourself a good man. You understand? Get yourself first, you understand, and gay. Come up, you understand? Get your mind correct, you understand? Get your mind straight, you understand? And start a link with brothers, right. You follow? So they can get, you understand, to make a forward and a proper standard start and finish in life here.
Come on.
You understand? So what I say, you understand? Yeah, we take it to you. So what I do, how much appreciate it. Anyone. Yeah, man. That's right. So what I am, man. All right, solid. All right. What up? Straight, you understand? So, hey, it's that time, it's about that time you follow. So, all this history is just to show you that nothing change you. That's why we just go into it, you understand? To help you understand that the bigger picture is this. The feelers, you understand, that they look in Tongish and colonial times and all that. It's monsters. It's monsters under there, you understand? Straight. Damn right. Correct is right, sir. Damn right. Right? They know what time it is. So you're going, the time getting shorter and shorter. If all on the time will get more drastic, right? So the scripture saying, understand, gather together our nation and desire, understand some. I then go back to what we talking about here. I'd say you could drop that for, and we're going to right, what's going on here now, right? We're going to pull up an article here. This is from the Declaration of Independence now, just to show you the mindset of these oppressors and how you was never considered as a people. You think citizen at Trinidad and Tobago. You think he's a citizen of the United States of America. The United States of America was formed even later. You understand? Than Trinidad. That country 1776. The Declaration of Independence was brought forth. Trinidad and Tobago, you understand, was established about 500 years ago after this. 1498, somewhere around there, understand? That is when they started to put Trinidad and Tobago in a state of a country. How the hell you understand? You 500 years old. That's where you start from. Nothing. Where that machine making people today? Slack, I missed that. I missed that, you know. I missed that in the show, some kind of biology class. Where that machine is, and it is my grace. Like madness, birds, like madness. You can't afford for that. You can't afford for that happen. You understand? So you're going to it, right? You have to understand context and conversation when people are talking. It's a critical, important part that is never, understand, that was never brought to attention in schools, right? So you have to understand that, right? And the historical background of events to be able to see and understand what pertains to you and what does not. So-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Just as the United States Declaration of Independent States, right? Quoted. I'm going to pull here, right? Pull it up real quick here. Right? What we do, illuminate that. Supposed to get connected still. What's going on, right? Anyway, right? Yeah, okay, get on the side. Declaration. Right? Declaration of Independence. Right? Okay, I think this is it. Anyway, right here, right? Let's open it here. I want to get the same exact word in. I could possibly pull that down. I think it's this one. I'm not sure. Right.
Is that article like a sense, like, yeah?
Yeah, I can't say, right? It's on the screen right now.
Oh, so like, now. Yeah,
no sweat, right? You can see it?
Yeah, outside. I can't come outside.
All right, well, yeah, I'm going to show you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. What are you saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. In Congress, July the 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the and the separate and equal station the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
Was right there, Baba Kusha, is how much different things you could point out that absolutely chaotic in that statement. It doesn't that segue alone, you understand? They're talking about the political bans. You understand? That time, 1776, what political ban we had?
That's right.
We was.
That's right.
Picking cotton was PNM. I want to know. What do you hear? You understand? They're talking about, understand some these things is not supposed to fly over your head. And that is why I understand this educational system was designed to fail us. Designed, understand, to keep us at bay and just keep us good slaves. But we can't see, understand, that this thing was not pertaining to us. Always looking for, understand, for them to behave themselves, basically. You know what I mean? That is not the case. You were supposed to look for where is your defense, where your help come from. Psalms 121 was supposed to be, understand, really and truly engraved in your heart, as opposed to the damn Declaration of Independence. It didn't even pertain to you. Right? And the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them to rape, rob, and murder. That is how they take over the lands, and look what they did to the Native Indians. How that godly? That could never be that evil as hell. So you understand the nature the beast they're dealing with.
Right.
If they call evil good, you understand, and they profess that this is supposed to be right, and this is natural, you understand, and this is nature's God. Understand the mind of the person they're dealing with. That is an absolute psycho, you understand? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman, I beg you not to play, you understand, with these people that's surrounding you.
All right.
Do not play with it. All right? So like I said, we don't Baba Kusha.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
So they say they hold these truths. The truths that they say, right? It's their truths to be self-evident. It's a little like a little conscious community-ish. Yeah, they're truths now, you know what I mean? We don't know.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Right.
That all men are created equal. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
For right there, Salakia. They is not talking about black people, yo.
Right.
Never happened, eh? Well, you understand? They're not talking about them. In other words, like Satan create you. Like we's aliens, as they say, you know what I mean? They pull me up from the ground somewhere, they plant me up. God them create me. Because if this is supposed to be the truth, that's supposed to be self-evident, right? And all men supposed to be created. How come, you understand, you could not have me given the entitlement of life? Right. You're killing my babies. You understand? You're working them to death. My small 3-year-old and 2-year-old. You're working them to the bones of the skin of the bones falling. No liberty for them because you're shipping them when Christmas comes is one of the worst days of the year. That's right. Because you're shipping them up, they want to know at the end of the year, you understand? All that time, if they go see their family, if the family go stay together. On top of you ripping them. And when I see them on all kind of madness, you ain't even keeping them together. How much you know? Yes, so go ahead. Correct. Correct. For sure, because hey, understand, even from that time coming up, all is different, you ain't satisfied. You understand? You don't know all the what do you call it, the banks and the we call it insurance and all them financial institutions, understand? Everything that go Wall Street built on slavery, you understand? That is the revenues that came from slavery built it up.
So like you say,
go ahead.
You know, and all this riding on the back of quote unquote Christianity, as well as a concept that they had, something called manifest destiny.
Right.
You understand? And, you know, just to get you know, that whole concept of how they took manifest destiny.
Right.
You know, simply when you look it up, it says manifest destiny was a widely held cultural belief in the 19th century United States.
Right.
That American settlers were destined to expand across North America. There are 3 basic themes of manifest destiny.
Right.
The special virtues of the American people,
right,
and the institution. The mission of the United States to redeem and remake the West in the image of the Aryan agrarian East. So basically, this talking about white supremacy.
Right? Correct. Think about it there. You understand? Which is the son of destruction, the son of perdition, the so-called oppressor, the white man. You understand? This man, the Lord is the one that set them loose. But the Lord never wanted that man to set loose because this is what you bring on the side of it. Who sent him from Catalonia, Spain? You understand? All them different places, and from France and all them different places to come across here. You never even know. It's because you read this Bible, you understand? You read it in 2nd Ezra 30 and verse 40. You understand? When you see the 10 tribes come across here. Right. That's the only way you know, you understand, how people on the side and you know the Lord between. Right? When you start to dig up, then you know, well, Asher foot will be different oil. You understand? You have once that go wrong and all that. That is where you get the idea to come and interfere people and then go and Catalonia, in that place on that side. Christopher Columbus himself, you understand, grew up real base, and we was not reading a part in a piece of history now. From Leona, right? Which showing you that this man didn't care, you understand, to be reminded then of how much state that you come from. He just pop up himself and he say, well, I gonna make myself great on the earth. Right. And the thing is, how black man is make himself great, you understand? Like even in common terms then, normal. He make invention, he running race, you understand? He doing that, he raping people. That's right. And not still don't want to get called out for it. He don't want to understand to pull on his statue if he don't want to madness. You follow? And the other one, the people that they put up statue for, like Martin Luther King, this society does erect statues to evil men. That's right. Understand something? They just acknowledge evil. You follow? So as soon as you see them things, then you have to understand something. Anytime society ain't talking about we, understand, maybe, you know, honoring somebody that do something good, maybe a runner, whatever the case is, right? Not talking about, you understand, they reckon and glorifying, understand, people have influence that bring more evil on the face of the planet. Right. Anytime it allow them to perpetuate white supremacy, you understand, that's who is big up in the society. That is the kind of history that you must understand, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man and woman. It's critical, you understand, for you to see these things. That is why, you understand, commanding generally and others go so hard. And the men them commission on them, you understand, to pass down the information to them so they can be warned. They can be alert, you understand? So don't watch, you understand, a class normally you're watching maybe 3 men in a class and thinking it's just so many. The Lord trying to warn your backside.
That's right.
The Lord trying to bring you upon game, you understand, tell you nobody, you understand, it's danger. Red, you understand, you make him red to the skin, you understand? He say if there's a marker put on him, danger when you see that man, don't touch you, don't even go close to you.
That's right.
You understand? Stay away from you. Because it's death community, you understand? Death and destruction. Yeah. Right? So moving back on to this piece, with this piece thing here, right? Okay. One second, okay, yes, go ahead.
You want to continue reading?
No, we can jump over that for now. Right? So again, this is just showing you, apart of that, we could go to Trinidad and Tobago now, right? And the credence, right? And the credo that they stay to, right? Trinidad and Tobago credence states that every creed and race find an equal place. But you, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, your race is not acknowledged and respected. Again, they don't call you, you understand, Benjamin down here. They don't call you Ephraim and Manasseh, you understand, Judah, you understand, and I.S.U.P.K and Asher. They don't call the Venezuelans that come across here, they don't call them Asherites. You understand? And Columbus and them, they went and touched across Venezuela and Colombia, all them different regions, they went and touched too. You understand? Again, this is just part one. This is just touching the surface there basically, because there's plenty to show you, understand, the evidence of how they operate so that you could understand that, hey, your people need to be aware of this. You as a Black man, you have a responsibility to teach your family. Whether they come up in these ranks as an officer or not, you understand, you still have a responsibility to protect them. You follow? And the best way to do it is to come and serve the Lord. So the Lord, you understand, will defend you to the fullest, you understand? But really and truly, you need to, you understand, at least understand basic things, friends. That we have right now. You know what I mean? I'm right, yes, sir. Right? So again, right? You historically and biblically are the race nation of Israel. That is your nationality, not Trinidadian, right? This is why you are not accounted for in this society. You are named, not accounted for. Servant class of society. We are owed no justice, no equal opportunity. Just as we are talking about here, and the same thing. That is why I bring up the comparison between what they're talking about in Trinidad here and as opposed to what they're talking about here. In, you understand, the Declaration of Independence. And guess what? In the Declaration of Independence, if I'm mistaken, I think that was written before. Right? The Declaration of Independence written before, you understand, this time the credo come out, right? Let me just look at that real quick, right? The credo, Trinidad and Tobago credo, Trinidad and Tobago credo. And Tobago credo. Or motto, oh no, credo. Credo date. Date of what? Date of creation. Right? The credo. Right? But anyway, but you just see the same spirit, and that is the main aspect of it, right? The same thing that is said in the Declaration of Independence, just to show you that this is the mind of your person. Wherever he goes, that is how it is operate. The Syrian here, you understand? They have the association, their representation, you understand? They can't do them anything that you want. Same thing with East Indian, you understand? Same thing with Africans that come from even wherever they come from, right? When of course here, they don't get disrespected, right? And they get justice in the system. You follow? You, Black man, you understand? And Black woman, you don't get that. That treatment is not afforded to you because you are not respected in society. You're not a citizen. You know, well, you're a citizen, but you're not, you understand? What you call it, a part of the society. And the Lord make it that way for a reason. That you understand that these people is not your friend, they are your enemies. And as enemies, you understand, you need to be a friend of the Most High Power. And not siding your enemies to further destroy you as a people. For all the token Negroes, you understand that by the tail between the leg, that's for a penny, you understand, that's for a buck or two. Understand something, you ain't call it, you disposable. But with the Caucasian race then, what we see on TV, every Caucasian have a gun and threatening to shoot up the place. Also, them school shooters, right? They don't say gun and bust a shot one time and them and kill them. They could have a gun waving it and trying to shoot somebody and the person them, let's back them down and school them down. They don't get shot on sight.
Right.
They understand, they even think, you understand, that we have some money on us, and we ain't flash nothing. We ain't pull nothing. Just for resistance, you understand, the rest? They just kill us. Understand something? That is spirit in this beast. Coming back again to the start of the class, where I was talking about that situation that I saw with my own eyes, right? Obviously, right? So what went last night? Again, just to reiterate what we was talking about in the class, right?
Right.
There was an accident that happened, I'm sure you see it, right? And a woman, her husband, you understand, he had to get bashed up now, and the brains and all that was on the ground now. And she was in such force and such shock now, and I mean, she was really distraught now. And she was trying to pull back in, you understand, the husband brains in the head now. Like she wanted him just, she could have just, you understand, that's some kind of magic just to pull him together. Him to come back alive. She couldn't believe it, you understand, she was out there. You know, I see this devil, you understand, laughing about that thing and making jokes about it. All the Negro people, you know, have some kind of decorum about them now, you know. And I watching this devil breads. I observe one. I watching the devil there, and he over with the devil. He laughing and making joke about it. The one husband. I like, that wasn't easy. So that's why you understand the nature of this beast now. That's why you can't trust, you can't deal with them. You can't trust them, you understand? They know people that have compassion. Right? You can't operate and think that, you know, that you can play and dance around them. You work around them, you get your backside home after work, you understand? You do business with them, do it in a safe place. Not in a place where you most likely can get trapped. In case they disagree or they might try to rape you or some kind of madness. Man and woman. Don't think that limits to them. You turn your head, you might slip a drink in a man cup, you understand, and die with this. Same thing with a woman. A woman, you understand, she disgusting self might slip something in the drink, man or woman or child, right, and molest her right there. Or you understand how you gang rape and them kind of thing. And that's fun because they like to see them things. I'll tell you the next instance that happened to me a long time when I was in the world. You understand? About 15 years ago somewhere. I lie with some men, right? And a close person to them, I ain't gonna say who it is, whoever the case is, but a close person to them was eyeing me down to ship me off to some in South America, you understand? As a sex slave. Because the man accustomed to it. Apparently the man is working, understand? In tandem with ships or whatever the case is, maybe this drive ship or whatever the case is. And asking so later, I understand you're going, well, whoever it is that, you know, little close to him, right? Or going, what this one here, what you think, you know what I mean? You feel like it'll be a good food to send. And by the grace of God, say the Lord, you understand? I ain't somewhere, you understand? I'm be dead. Or you understand? I'm a cacao wide open. Excuse my French, you understand? But that's how real it is that and them things exist out here. So I be careful, don't feel that this oppressor is a man to be trusted. You can't play it. You understand? You don't play them. Right? So in this case, it does not matter when they said they're widows, you understand? Because once the ruling class, which also are the legislators, remember they created the law, understand, of our oppressors, the colonial masters and them, right? The head man, according to Psalm 33 again, this that prophecy showing, you understand? This man here, he will be the man, you understand, leading the chaos and the destruction in the society today, right? Right? And the other races, which are the people that have not been stripped of their identity, but you've been stripped of your identity, but rather work hand in hand to keep you from your identity and culture. Do not acknowledge your identity and culture in their credos and proclamations. Again, as we see here, evidence right here. Right? By definition, which again do not apply to you, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. So we must identify the state that we as a race are in, and we are not being given the benefits of these societal privileges. These things does not belong to you. It does not concern you. All these things you see in here, that don't pertain to us black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman. Right? What does pertain to you though is this Bible here. And a body where you can learn it. You understand? In the I.S.U.P.K. I will the Lord set up for you to learn and to come back to your heritage, to apply what is your protection, what is your wisdom, what is your knowledge, what is your understanding, right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, Bible Shasta, and verse 5 to 6.
Book of Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right. Go ahead, so like, is it?
No, verse 7.
No, that's it.
Yeah, that's number 6.
All right, so what else? Jump over to Deuteronomy chapter 1, Babu Kishan. Start from verse 11 down to 17, Babu Kishan.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 11. The Lord God of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as ye are, and bless you as he had promised you.
Right.
How can I myself alone bear your encumbrance and your brethren, so like and your burden and your strife? Take wise men and understanding and know among your tribes, so like and known among your tribes,
right?
And I will make them rulers over you.
Right.
Verse 14. And he answered me and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do.
Pause right here, Babu Kishan. Again, wisdom and understanding. You set up, you understand, a structure for the people to get their affairs handled. You understand? To do this, to take care of this, to take care of that, right? I'm going to segue a little bit again with this number. Read on, Babu Kishan. We're going to go across to something that's critical to why, you understand? Again, when we depart from the wisdom that the Lord gave to us, these things that have happened to us, right? Go ahead, sir.
Verse 15.
Go ahead.
So I took the chief of your tribe, wise men, unknown, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, captains over hundreds, captains over 50s, captains over 10s, officers among your tribes. And I charge your judges at the time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger that is with him. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's.
Right.
And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it.
Boom. We was never, in a sense, supposed to be without this. When could a nation and when could other race come into your zone and you have this structure in place? You have a military set, you understand, with men that understand. Yeah, go ahead. That you have, you understand, these things that set in place, right? When you have, you understand, officers, 10 men that over 50, you understand, men are over that and all that. Of course, they can be set up in strategic zones, right? So that when the enemy come against you, understand, from far, them things and them can't happen to you. You can't get destroyed just like that in the cup, you know what I mean? And then from there, what we're going to do is show you something, right? Here's a critical component of it, because our person, you understand? They learn all of this from us. How to, you understand, how to set up the battle. And if you read through, you understand, Exodus and Numbers and Leviticus and all that. As we just do on the Shabbat service, you understand, them days and we've seen where, you know, the what call it, when they can't move in, they have armies, you know what I mean? They're chefing a particular man on this side, and that side, you know what I mean? When they have the Sabbath service going on, they have men working on the outside, you have men surrounding the points and that. Right. You can see what's going on. Then they have specific calls. Right. So anytime you understand, you see, we call it somebody approaching, maybe a strange person, you know, you have alert for something. They have a fire, you have alert for something, you understand? They have an alert for something else. Right? When you have that wise type of structure in place, you can never get, you understand, trample out. Especially when you're being the most side, because regardless of how big the army comes from, right? You understand? You dying happening to you, the Lord will be on your side. And we have instances, right? So that's the truth, you understand? That's not something we just make up. Right? Come on. Now look at this here, you follow? This is Fort King George here. There's some pictures that, you know what I mean? We have plenty of pictures that I took out personally as well. Right. But we had to get a license to use them now. And first it's so dread. This library, you understand, does not belong to Trinidad and Tobago. It's saying in a national, the link, in a sense, saying national trust.tt. Right. But when you look at the what they saying? Culture community, British. You understand? The things that you have to get license for, and they have a particular room when you go in, they have anything with the generals and them and we call it the persons who actually was fighting them wars and who just belong to them coins, especially money coins and them. If it's money coins, then we can't take no pictures in that room. The people have to go to Fort King George themselves, pay $20, you understand, and go through it. I walk through and check out all the things in there. I went through all the rooms that I could have go into, you understand? Yeah, and take real pictures, real thing, you know what I mean? But it doesn't want you like creating your own thing, you know? Like taking from them now. Again, this doesn't belong to Trinidad and Tobago. That's right. It's a national trust, Trinidad and Tobago, you understand? But this belongs to the British and them. That's right. Italian. Right, and in between that time, between 1700, you understand, to maybe 1804 somewhere there, we changed over hands about 4 different times. Let me read it up here. Right? In October 1717, Lord George Macartney, British Governor General of Grenada and Tobago, authorized the erection of Scarborough Hill. You understand? That's what King George, right? Of 2 barracks and double kitchen to house 2 companies of soldiers, right? I think it was 400 soldiers or something like that. Together with capping the hill for a parade ground, right? Keeping the hill for a parade ground. How do you pronounce that? By 1779, work was near completion, right? In June 1781, Tobago fell to the French. So from British, you understand, fall to the French. They won how to exchange, right? By 1784, like 3 years after the French, under General Blanchland began construction of a fort on the hill. Work was halted in 1785, resumed in 1786. Fort Castries, right? And remember, Castries, they name it here because remember, all them different places is famous places now. Because I think the capital, if I'm mistaken, Grenada is Castries. Right? In 1789, it was named Fort Republic under the French, right? And Fort Liberté. In 1790, when the garrison revolted, the British recaptured the fort in 1793. You understand? So they say, oh, right? From the French, so between a 22-year period, there's battle going on all year, and then the British now recaptured the fort, right? Tobago was returned to France in 1801. That was about 8 years after, you understand? So it's the real thing happening right there for this little piece of, because if something not profitable enough, Brits, you ain't going to put all that man, put on people dying and all that, you know what I mean? To protect it. That is to tell you, in Little Tobago alone, how much, you understand, resources that are available. How much, you understand, I call it contention in between right there, this for a little spot. You understand? It's so strategic now. Right. I remember where Trinidad and Tobago is located, understand this, brothers and sisters who may be viewing from the States or, you know, from up the islands or wherever it is, you would know that, especially brothers of the islands, would know how strategic Trinidad is to Venezuela and the South American Peninsula, all them different places now. And how much, you understand, gold and all that they don't have available. Remember, in 1492, when Christopher Columbus and them come across here, the conquest was for all that, and remember they carry back ships of gold and all them things and them to defend the King Ferdinand and whoever it is, you know, Queen Elizabeth and all of them, right? So it's all that the taking place here that they're not mentioning basically. Right. That is what you have to understand, that this devil, you understand, this oppressor that rule over us, they don't care to what extent that they have to go to, you understand, to get to reap, you understand, to grab as much resources as possible. And if they're doing that, you understand, at that time when they didn't have so much technology and the media and all of that, they're not fighting it physically now, but they're fighting it spiritually and mentally now, you understand? So that is the mind check you have to look for. And that is what's most important in this. That is why the history coming up to show you then that the ways that the oppressor did not change, so you have to be on high alert. Now when things, you understand, even more affordable or it even more tricky, you understand, to come out of the system so that now you won't be caught up in it. If you understand, stick to the laws, the wisdom that's inside of here, you will escape the traps, you understand, of the devil. And this place will fall, you understand, because it will be revealed. Once you go against his nature, you understand, and you don't side with him, he will show his ugly face, and that is what people need to see more. So they'll understand that this BC, you understand, there's only bite teeth, you don't chew gum teeth, you understand? Yeah, real teeth. It's just those skin, you understand? Oh, we need them to skin so that we can see the teeth in them, you understand? When you see the teeth, then you know it's not there to go because you know bite coming in your tail. You understand? So them things are real important. Don't take them history for like I used to take history light in school. I'm sorry, you understand, that never used to take it real serious and them kind of thing, right? There's plenty that's missed out on, right?
So like I say, you know, I look at the history, you know, with them pushing and all, it's not even, you know, something that can really pay off or beneficial to black people. At all. To the pushing
their own thing.
Agenda.
Correct.
And then these are curriculums.
Correct.
So like, yeah.
And really and truly, it's only by the grace and the mercy of the Lord that we get at least our eyes then to see.
That's right.
So what to look for now, you understand? Right. Because majority of what they do is only because of pride that's blind them, you understand, from hiding certain things.
That's right.
So when they label, you understand that this British person here or this British person here, all you know how to do is going to look into the conquest of that person because they put up their history.
That's right.
You understand? So what is you going to see inside, like this little article here, look up that person and what that person known for. Lord George McCartney, and then you will see all the atrocities come out. Same thing with Columbus. That's why they put down Columbus started the other day and bathed down with blood and all kind of different things. You know what I mean? You can see that murder. You know what I mean?
You mentioned something very important earlier. You know what I mean? Because when there are a lot of people that we might deem famous in terms of history, but they know having that as I mentioned in that school curriculum perspective.
Right.
Even with the knowledge and the history,
right,
they still lost.
Correct.
And it's only the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General will be taught.
Correct.
The right history.
Correct.
Or the true history now, where we come out now and show people as they're bringing out in this class, you know, the things that really pertain to us.
Correct.
You understand? Because history in itself, knowing dates, knowing locations, knowing historical names, right, is of in itself no merit to the so-called
correct. That is it.
You understand?
Correct.
Because we know going into that history not to be claiming quality and identity.
Correct.
You know what I mean? We claim with God.
That is it. Correct. Is right. I'm right.
I read the thing I mentioned earlier.
Most of Christ, yeah, because that is all it is. You know what I mean? Because them things that again Romans, that's so heavy, because they look so small. But then again, there's so much encapsulating and to show you what by that plenty. They just don't take Romans 15 and 4 for joke.
That's right.
You think with that 4 times it fail learning, you know what I mean? Because there's so much things that we ain't learned in this society. Where we understand we ain't think to really be aware of yourself. You know what I mean? And it's real simple. Real simple things, and that is what this oppression is do. That's why you think that we understand fighting against a kind of almost impossible to defeat, you understand, enemy, and everyone for the Lord. So that's how he is get strength, you understand, for the more wicked and the more choppy he could be. That is both ego, you understand? That's what is fuel.
That's right.
You understand? So he going at any length, you understand, the chance to stay in that. That is why the scripture talk about him in pride, you understand? He does exalt himself in the pride and all that. He never think, this Babylon, this woman, you understand, Mystery Babylon, say that I sit it, you understand, on a seat, and there will be no widow. Oh, she's saying, I would never lose my husband, and you follow my husband, you only kill my husband. You understand, look at mean tears now. And think of brilliant and think that me, don't get fixed with me. That is in my name person. Understand that? He believe he can never get defeat.
That's right.
You understand? And that is why, you understand, the Lord had to bring him down. That is why, you know what I mean? That fall could be so great. And the Lord only waited, you understand, for the black man, Hispanic man, not really waiting. But he calling, you understand, or commanding them as much as I think enough, you understand? That is it.
That's right.
That's what we know for the most high right now. That is it. Yeah, no waiting. They feel, you understand, that you holding back progress now.
That's right.
As soon as a man here, because a man go do so and none with the word and jump up one time. And that man, you understand, go and none with the word and dig. You don't know why looking for this? And started to dig up in it. You understand? Like he name is Sonic, yeah, job. He digging so like knuckles, you understand? He going inside. Yeah. Because then you say, well, you think, and I tell you, I rather that. You understand? Because the generations after, we have to be better.
That's right.
Have to be better. You understand? So Lord allow, you know what I mean? They go, this place go SHALAM real soon, you never know. And you think that we are in charge, right? That's why we're doing as much as we could today. Why today is called today? You know what I mean?
It's like I said, let's not just say because this work that we're doing, you know, in the I.S.U.P.K. that you're sent to do under Commander General to uncover that spirit that he did because just as I mentioned, you know, like in Isaiah 30 and 1,
right?
Talking about way, you know, Israel about covering, that's paraphrasing, but not of the Most High.
Correct.
You understand? And you bring all these different things in history, right? So whether it's history, whether it's knowledge, whether it's wisdom,
right?
No, it's a new covering we gotta get.
That's it.
The covering that we have on we, the history that we know, the knowledge that we know, things that we understand is not of the Most High.
That's it.
So now we have to get
a fresh cover.
The Lord.
Damn right. So like I said, you're damn right. Most High Christ for that because you're one. This early in the class we was talking about that. We knew Christ telling you, they can't come with no old wine skin.
That's right.
You can't patch that together. You can't come with your ideologies, you know what I mean, and think, well, all right, I know something.
That's right.
I know somebody think I already know. Come fresh, you understand? Whatever you think, you know, get the perspective on it at least, you understand? Come empty.
That's right.
You say come with a new wineskin. You can't put no, you understand, no new wine in no old wineskin. And you can't put no old wine in new wineskin, you understand?
Right.
That ain't happening. Come with a new fresh, you understand, wineskin. Come with a new garment. Don't come with no old garment then. Rather than one fresh clothes. Rather you come with a plain jersey.
That's right.
You know, come inside here, then you come with different jersey and some jersey. Forget that. Don't let me see you that kind of shit with this coming here. You understand? Come fresh. Humble yourself. Remember you come to the Lord, you understand? When you come to the Lord, I tell you scripture, I think it is Ecclesiastes or something like that. When you come to the Lord, you understand? Don't talk too much then, you understand?
Right.
Because you ain't considering that you're doing evil.
That's right.
You're doing yourself at the service and the people that hear you tonight. Quiet yourself. Come and learn, right?
That's right.
Straight. Yeah. Let the Lord fill you up, man. Let the Lord give you that thing, because that His spirit, that His words, you understand? Them things that coming out here, there's no will. You understand? We get the charge to do it, you understand? The Lord just put it in my mind and we just bring it out how the Lord wants it, you know what I mean? That is it. Alright. Let me go across to Judah chapter 5, Baba Gusha, right? Verse 17. Yes, sir. Right?
Judah 5
and 17.
And
Yes,
17.
sir. 17, yes, 17 down to 21.
17 to 21.
Yes, sir.
The book of Judah, chapter 5, 21.
At 17, Salakia.
17, 5 and 17.
Got
At Salakia. The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God,
right,
they prospered, because the God that hated iniquity was with them.
Right, Paul's right there. So he's talking about, you understand, we that given the law. The breaking of the law, you understand, is sin, iniquity. You understand? When the Lord, you understand, when we was rocking with the Most High and doing exactly what we're supposed to do, we was being protected. The reason why this history is here today, written today, because we leave the Lord, we leave the protection of the Most High. You understand? This scripture here telling men that, hey, in that historical time period as well, you know this about these people and them.
Right.
About these Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian roughnecks, you understand? These people and them, this is how the Lord is operating with them.
That's right.
The only way this happened is because we leave off this. This was our reputation in the earth then. You understand? At that time. Read on Bible Shastra.
Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore. And they were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground. And their cities were taken by their enemies.
You understand? That is the only way they get sacrifice swine flesh on the altars and them kind of disrespect the Most High like that.
That's right.
But man, the Lord, you understand, first the men and them in our nation was so ready, you understand, and so understanding and how to operate and what to never, you understand, allow to even get the idea that it's correct. The brother, you understand, see a man playing, he want to sex and he going in a tent and pull a heathen when the Lord say, boy, them is not to marry, boy. He want to take a chance and say, well, because, you know, he might be a little rank or something, a little money, whatever the case is. He say, well, boy, I don't care about that, boy, I don't care about all that, eh? But the man do some push, you understand, and do some and run a spear through his belly and to the one belly in the middle of the act. Tell you nobody that disgusting by that woman, because a man know he's not supposed to see a man nakedness. Another woman, a next man, woman nakedness, he know that. But by brotherhood supersede that, you understand? Tell you nobody that is not to do by okay kicks. Don't feel, you know what I mean, that man will leave you to do what you want and like my business. I know your business. What you do here is we business, you understand? Okay kicks.
That's right.
And run that spear through, man, like nobody doing anything but doing that by eradicate evil out of Israel.
That's right.
One time. You understand? So that's to tell you how far we jump off at. You understand how much beaten down as that people we is? We too fragile right now. The greatest, strongest, wisest, most beautiful, most caring people on the face of the planet. You understand? Fragile as you know what I mean? As a piece of glass.
That's right.
That you know we. As the brothers not saying, as the officer was saying, that's now, Sir Kumalo saying, we have a white, you understand? A white covered and we have Caucasian spirit and we red. That is madness. You understand? Because we're frightened to do the right thing, but we're confident in doing evil.
That's right.
That is madness. But you're going, here's what going. Here, that does not work for you, because you wasn't created to create carnage. You understand? And them kind of thing. You is not a vessel of this planet. The Lord see create you, understand? We got a right plant, a upright plant.
That's right.
Not a degenerate plant, you understand? Like we say in Jeremiah, you're supposed to reach that. That's not what I create you for. You matter. That's not who you is, you understand? Right. You gotta come back to that and take off that stupid skin off of you, you understand? I know you in a pig skin right now. You understand? Okay. You understand? With the snort everything, you understand? The little ponytail and you trying to straighten it. The tail end get stinking all over the place, you understand? You know, you have pig skin and you walk around the place, you know what I mean? You can't eat pepper pig. Be yourself, eh? You don't see put bad skin on you, you understand? Goat skin. Yeah, real nice, like sheep skin, you understand? Thing they keep you warm. Thing they keep you wise, and then they keep you strong and protected. If what you was never supposed to, that's not your fit. You're fit in there. That's square peg and round hole. You understand? Yes, sir. Read them, Babakisha.
Verse 20.
Right.
Now, therefore.
Slack, verse 19, Babakisha.
Verse 19.
Right, yes, sir.
But now are they returned to their God and come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Right.
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against these people, and they sin against their God, let us consider shall be their room, and let us go up, overcome them. Verse 21.
Right.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
But man, nobody don't touch them people. Right?
That's right.
I know that long time, you understand? Right. And I was gonna you black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, you didn't believe God real. Because forces licks, you understand, coming left, right, and center. Do you want to know if it have a God? You understand? And that we was never supposed to reach that. You was never supposed to be in doubt, you understand? And we're gonna how the meal coming and all that. You do no kind of nastiness. You understand, for a meal and selling out yourself and do no kind of shippiness. You understand? To get some kind of Indian crutch, you understand? To eat a bread. Nah, man, we is not that kind of people, breads.
That's right.
God make me the greatest people on the face of the earth, the greatest sinner. He just killed about you, you we want to talk about badness, you understand? The Lord very bad about each other. And you understand, you have to taste on it and see that the Lord good again and stop even, you know what I mean? Taking and walking on thin ice. As the white man like to say, you know, you're walking on thin ice, buddy. Yeah. You have to come up with that and set their mind. When they come back, you understand, to your culture and they take off that shepherd skin and put on your skin, your mind will be settled, you understand? Then you're free. It should go make you free, as the scripture says, you know what I mean? Right from there, we go jump backwards to talk about that 1 and 4. That's so you have an idea of what this is so personal. That's what the Lord wants to do. Alright?
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 4.
And verse 10, still up here.
And verse 10.
Yes, right back.
And verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother.
For thy violence, Christopher Columbus, all of them that come through, all the conquistadors and all the wickedness seen today, up to the all the killing, all of that. You understand? For thy violence, because remember Esau and Jacob was brothers.
That's right.
They come out the same belly together. You understand? But you're going, Esau decide, well, boy, I'm going to be a monster, I'm going to be a murderer, right? That's right. Lord, separate that spirit. He said, that is not the spirit I get Jacob. He separate them from them and give them time. He said, 2 man and nation could be in the belly. You understand? Since that the way he want to rock, you understand? He want to operate and come back on the earth, so no problem.
That's right.
You understand? I separating them, bam. Use that vessel, this honor, look more vessel honor right here. From the same moment, same moment. And that's how the Lord is operating, you understand? Your choice over your choices, you understand? You will live with it. However you make your bed, that's how you will live with it. You understand? Right. Lord know exactly what we're doing. Don't get kicks. Right? For all them people that more themselves, the people who was talking about the throwing shots at I.S.U.P.K right now, right? Don't worry yourself. Don't know how to fix that. You know, you understand? Pull out that deepest parts of people now, you know what I mean? And give them they just reward that kind of way, you know what I mean? Right. I want to see brothers inside of here, and solid themselves. And whoever happen, you understand? You don't know you can't shake them. But them standing on the Lord, them standing with the Lord. Them standing on everything that the Lord had to give, you understand? They know that they'll take one skin.
That's right.
Scrape my skin right off to the thing. You can't do me nothing by it, you understand? That's what it is. Sisters inside of here. They confidence in the Most High. They know the Lord is a living power. You understand? Yes, sir. Read on, Baba Kusha.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Shame, the shameless nation that it was, they follow the worry when they get exposed and all this madness happening and all the judgment coming down, but they thought there will be a ruler forever. I mean, they shall never see no sorrow. They thought they be out with it. Yes, sir. Read on, Baba Kusha.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Cut off forever. You ain't get no chance to live on the earth again. You understand? The Lord say, well, boy, I go wipe out this poison forever. Don't be tough. You understand? They ain't got no chance to spring again and think they will come back, you know, some kind of plan, right? When they done work, there's your punishment. You and work, you understand? But lock up the place them for 1,000 years or around about whatever. Imagine what time the Lord decided He will keep them and then cut them off forever. Every one.
That's right.
Every last one of them. You understand? Your memory stayed. Everybody know, you understand, from generation to generation, these people was never supposed to be born. That was shame. That real shame. Right? Shit. Say that. Slack, you know, let's take this real quick.
Yes, sir.
Let me go down and jump to 1 Kings chapter 10, Baba Kusha, right? Because this is what we have to come back on. As Officer Kabbalah was talking about earlier on day, this is where the Lord wants to come back on here. Then. You know what I mean? This is what the Lord wants me to come back in. This is the kind of thing we're supposed to be on, right? Baba Kusha, 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 1 to 9.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Most High Power, she came to prove him with hard questions.
So when you hear them come across him, remember the Lord and tell you know what I mean, that when you obey him in Deuteronomy 4 and 5, you understand? Down to 6, he said this could be a wisdom and you understand. And in this side of the nations, Queen of Sheba, you understand? She from a next nation, she from African. Right? So she come and she had questions and say, well, let me put him to test now. Let me see your body is thing. So I come with all my Jews and all my guests with my deceitful self. You know what I mean? And let me see if you understand you have to pass, especially a woman, and she go try and try, you know? You know, so she know, you understand, being a heathen on top of that, you understand, she come at the try. All right, no sweat. You understand? So the Lord now showing up strong how he does could keep people at them. You know what I mean? So read on Baba Kusha.
Verse 2. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold, and precious stones.
Right.
And when she was came to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart.
Right.
Read on.
Yeah, Baba Kusha.
Verse 3. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not.
So she come with 1,000,001 questions, and that's all the hard questions she taught. She like, catch Solomon what now? I catch him off guard. Yeah, I'm gonna catch him with one here. Bam.
That's right.
Yeah? You feel Solomon, it's talking you on a court.
That's right.
That what they don't understand. You understand? That respect they're supposed to have for you, black man. Hispanic man, Native Indian man. If all of this she come there with all them shipping questions, and then professor come in with what about black and black crime? What about drugs and all that? You understand? You can tell them right there and then you stop pumping it in our communities. You stop making it available to all these politicians and all that. You stop. And let's see, you understand what we'll do. You understand? Why you don't open up some more opportunities, you understand, for men to do for a trade school and agriculture and all them different things. You understand? Why don't you teach them things in school and financial literacy? You want to stop black and black crime? You know what I mean? You want you want this thing to stop, right? You want us to pull up ourselves by our own bootstraps, but then make it really and truly accessible. And let's see what happens. You understand? Let's see what will take place. You know, we like to beat all in sports.
That's right.
Let's see who will survive. You understand? Let's see who the Lord with. Shucks. You know what I mean? If he's so bright, you know what I mean? No problem. You have questions, we have answers. And that's how the Lord is doing. You know what I mean? Like we give to that's the heritage of Jacob. The heritage of the so-called black, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman. You understand? Yes, so go ahead.
Verse 4. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ancients, Salakia, and his ascent, by which he went up unto the house of the Most High, there was no one, Salakia, there was no more spirit in her.
Give me that again, Baba Kusha.
And they were to stop.
No, this part here.
And his ascent by which he came up unto the house of the Most High, there was no more spirit in her.
She had no more fighting her. She had to bow down. She had to sit now, but this God, you understand? This God is Israeli now, but remember she's a queen, eh?
That's right.
She's a ruler of her area. She's supposed to be in that room in the first place, right? But that is how them separate them backward, right? But this woman coming from all, they may be raised and taught well by whoever, at least as much as they can scrape off from the wisdom we have, that is where they get it from in any case, right? That's not the judicial system they have today and all that, right? So as much as she could have done that, she had to quit, you understand? And it's very hard for a heathen, you understand, to say, to acknowledge, that this God is the real God of Israel, this is the power, this is our wise God. On top of that, for a woman, you understand, to say, well, you know what I mean? If she not taught a particular way, she been raised, she really raised the way she must be raised, she'll fight tooth and nail to try and prove that she right. Even when she wrong. Yeah?
That's right.
But anyway, moving on, right? So, although the sister, well, not the sister, sorry, the heathen now had to this, humble down and say, yes, this is the power of Israel. This is not Solomon. This Solomon is very wise. The Lord blessed him with a lot of stuff on him, but I have to give credence to the Lord. And here's why I say that. Read the other verse, Bishop.
6. And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in my own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not the words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceeded the fame which I heard. Verse 8. Happy are thy men, happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Verse 9. Blessed be the Lord thy power, which delighteth in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Most High loved Israel forever. Therefore, make he thee king to do judgment and justice.
A beautiful thing, brother. That is what you want rulers to come back and say. That is what they're going and say in time to come. In fact, they do say it right now.
That's right.
When the Russian person interviewed Commandant Gen.YAHANNA, enough respect. Enough respect, brother.
That's right.
That is what it's about. You understand? The Lord God of Israel, the only wise power. There's no counsel. There's no wisdom against the Most High power. That is what we're trying to show blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian man and woman don't get kicks down. Right now you're playing on the wrong side. Right now you're playing against yourself. You had to come up to scratch. You had to come up in the zone. Right now you're out of the fight. What are you doing? You understand? Come in, make some man up to them. Trying to show them, bro. That's what them saying, but they don't know well by the Most High power. Boy, bless me, the Lord God of Israel. He loved Israel forever. You understand? He put to do justice and judgment because they know they can't nowhere else.
That's right.
This is the only place that reside by any I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA. You understand? Straight. Yes. The Lord trying to pull you back home, you understand? You understand? If you're looking for the place where righteousness reside, brother, you understand? It's right inside of here. The solution, you understand? This little army you can see, you understand? Forming up and all that. That is what going to run the whole planet just now.
Right.
You almost in the end, you're in the dregs right now. Black man, black woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, you understand? Time to come home. Give me verse 10, Baba Kisha, sir. Right?
Verse 10. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon.
Musa in Christ, brother. That's what it is. That's what it is. So on this, remember she walked with something, and then after that she do so now I give more.
That's right.
I had to bless the children of Israel, brothers, you understand? Because I know the Lord has some Muslim, but also because it's right. It's right to do, you understand? Yeah, all them questions that come and answer, and all them different things, nobody could answer that for me. You know what I mean? She might be so far and wide because what kind of pride is that having a heathen? You know, just so you go across there. And remember, you come to try and figure out, you know what I mean, to see if you're wise or not. You see, when you say, boy, I have to admit it, you know what I mean? The report I hear, it's far supersede what I hear them, you know what I mean? Because, you look what's going on here. You understand? I didn't believe this thing, you know what I mean?
That's what they say today. That's our society today. When you go get credit for anything that they're doing. You understand?
Right.
They're really good.
Yeah, correct.
Because it's hard to get Negro credit.
I said correct.
And then again, Negro credit just so.
You
understand? So that, yeah.
You
know, like, come like, this is an example, although, you know what I mean, they do like how Tiger Woods.
Right, correct.
You know what I mean, like, the ball for Jordan.
Correct, right.
Basketball.
Correct.
You still have to say that. You understand?
You gotta give me you gotta give jacket. Correct. Correct. And you're going, it's so shameful, And no, you're one really actually I have to say this, right?
Yeah.
And I want to right now I understand I have to big up the men, you understand the men under the I.S.U.P.K. Really actually big up all the generals and them, big up the captains and them.
That's right.
And you see children and Tobago, all they get kicks, boy. You understand? The Lord bless this house.
That's right.
But as you understand, like Officer Kobal and them, Officer Michael and them, Officer, you understand? Officer Car, Officer Matkoyak, Officer Sawap, Officer Galawan,
right.
Officer Shah, you understand? I tell you, I want to say beautiful, you understand, but that's strong, you understand? I kind of treasure our brothers inside of the school, you understand? And it says that back them too, brother. The women, you understand, that them is walking treasures, you understand? And the men them, they do well, you understand? By the sisters, I'm telling you. I just trying to tell her, you know what I mean? Really, actually, I get the most real thanks and praise for that, you know what I mean? Most in Christ, you know what I mean? But yeah, most in Christ, but what should I ain't gonna be shit at all out there, you know? Real talking, I talk about the kind of thing, you know what I mean? A brother go really sharp me with time, you know what I mean? Bring you up to speed and them kind of thing, real key. And the thing is diligence, that don't come just so. There's real hard work and diligence and fighting and real strain and sacrifice that is taken. With a lot of blessing, you understand? With certain wisdom and, you know, the people just set their mind on certain things that close to you. Especially when we're so far from Jerusalem, you know what I mean? Of course, we just talk to general sometimes, you know, get a little questions answered, you know, get a little counsel and them thing and them, but you know, to have solid soldiers right by your side, brother, you know what I mean? They talking about their life, they walking, living life right next to you.
That's right.
A power source, you understand that? Like no other. Just like the Queen of Sheba, she's not an Israelite, she's a heathen. You cannot life that she get to go back with by she nation, you understand? Is that treasure that she might be give. You know the scripture say the spice, the amount of spice she gave. Nobody, you understand, ever gave nothing like that ever gave.
That's right.
First, you understand, she was grateful.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That is the God of Israel. That is the God that we serve. You understand? So with that, it was stuff for today. You know what I mean? Lord allow, we get next installment next week, Lord allow, and do that thing again. You know what I mean? And bring back some more history and bring back some more thing, man. You know what I mean? So to all again for tuning in, you know what I mean? To all for coming through, really appreciate it. Exactly. And all the hospitality around, you know what I mean? Big it up, you know what I mean? Everything that you see the same spirit that in the Bible done, you know what I mean? That you make a sense that I hear. Nice. That's a blessed thing that happen, you know what I mean? Hospitality like that, think everything on point and always, you know? That's right. Yeah. All right. And that is what people need, you know what I mean? So that's not it here. All right. With that, you know what I mean, we'll close it off there. So like, give me 1 second, Baba Kishan, you understand? Pull that thing.
Yeah.
Right? In fact,
look, this one. So
yeah.
I don't need for this.
Yeah, go to, no, I'll go on.
Yeah, no, oh, yes, we can forget, right? That's right. Yeah, so yeah, that's right. Most of it is solid, right?
All right, so security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 121st Street out of New York under Commandant GEN.YAHANNA. New York's brothers and sisters, when a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. It means 10 in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aisha. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department, the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, all right, Friday the 15th, all right, at sundown is the Lord's Passover. All right, so you definitely want to connect wherever it is. Try to get to Florida, Cocoa Beach, Florida. If not, then you're in Trinidad here, you understand, make your way, you understand, up here and call in today. Book your appointment one time today, you understand, make sure that you're locked in your seat and all that to come and enjoy the Lord's Passover. Of course, you connect with brothers who can't, you understand, go to the state itself. We will connect, you know what I mean? We will connect via a live feed, right? And rock it out just that same way, right? Cool. All right, and you can find scriptures on that in Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 51, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 to 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 7 to 8, and 2 Chronicles chapter 30 and verse 17. All right. The next day, right after, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I mean? So prepare yourself for Friday and Saturday night. You know what I mean? So come and rock it out with your brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like do it up and enjoy the Lord's Passover. The Lord, you understand? This is the highest holiday that we have as a nation together. You know what I mean? And this is a celebration of the Lord. Again, you understand, protecting us and showing us how He does deliver us from our enemies. You know what I mean? It's a history that we're supposed to pass on and supposed to acknowledge and appreciate onto generations and generation to generation. All right, so you definitely want to come in, check it out, give away a call today. The Camp number is 290-5173 if you're in Trinidad. Again, that number is 290-5173 if you need any information and all that. All right? Right? So again, remind Akim, which is brothers, and Aquatian, which is sisters, to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and whatever it is, again, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. All right? If your brother wants to be a trooper, right, you want to start to do the work of the Most High, then it's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headband, like this, or scarf, all black, right? And with that, we say Majam. All right, Lapanya Kodam, turn and face the east, right? Let's see the Lord's Prayer, right? Let's nice. All right. Abanawa. Shabashemaya. Kodash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakata. Tabaha. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Ayah. Mashemaya. Natanawa. Lakam. Ka. Yawam. Masalaknaw. Kabubatnaw. Kasalaknaw. Kabubatnaw. Wala'a. Tabayaino. Banasai one. Abol, Awashino, Mayon, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Mahala, Atapara, Naiwalami, Aman. All right, what he said in the English was our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right, so. Right, so we're going to give the people online a quick salute. Right, I'm going to visualize my Shabbat. Imagine Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Brakata. Right, you're going to give the sisters on a courtesy salute. Yachimata. I'm going to visualize my Shabbat. Imagine Barak Yahweh Shema Latang Bashim Yahweh Yachimata. Class dismissed.